Have you ever felt completely drained after a party, even if you had a good time? Do you sometimes need a quiet afternoon alone to feel like yourself again? If this sounds familiar, you might be an introvert. Being an introvert isn't about being shy or antisocial, it's about how you get your energy. While extroverts feel energized by being around people, we introverts recharge our batteries with quiet time and solitude. It's like our social battery has a smaller capacity, and it needs more frequent charging sessions away from all the noise and stimulation of the outside world. This fundamental difference in our energy systems is the starting point for understanding our unique experiences. The phrase introvert repercussions might sound a little intense, but it simply refers to the consequences or challenges that can arise from our introverted nature in a world that often celebrates extroverted qualities. These repercussions aren't punishments. They are the natural outcomes of navigating a fast-paced, highly social environment that doesn't always align with our need for calm and reflection. Think of it like being a deep-sea fish in a shallow pond. You can survive, but the environment isn't built for you, and that can create some difficulties. These challenges pop up in all areas of life, from the classroom to the boardroom to our closest friendships. Understanding these repercussions is the first step toward managing them with grace. It's not about changing who we are, but about recognizing how our wiring affects our daily interactions and well-being. For example, the need to retreat after a long day of meetings isn't a sign of being rude. It's a necessary act of self-preservation. When we feel overwhelmed by too much social interaction, our minds can feel foggy, and our ability to engage thoughtfully diminishes. Acknowledging this reality helps us stop feeling guilty for needing alone time, and instead see it as a vital part of our personal maintenance routine. So, being an introvert is essentially about energy management. It's a constant balancing act between engaging with the world and retreating to recharge. The repercussions we face are the ripples created when this balance is disturbed, either by external pressures or by our own attempts to fit into an extroverted mold. By learning to identify these moments of imbalance, we can start to build a life that honors our natural rhythms instead of fighting against them. It's a journey of self-awareness that empowers us to live more authentically and comfortably in our own skin, without feeling the need to apologize for our inherent nature. One of the most common challenges we face is the dreaded social hangover. This is that feeling of complete exhaustion after spending too much time socializing, whether it's at a wedding, a conference, or even just a long day in an open-plan office. Your brain feels fuzzy, your body feels tired, and all you want to do is crawl into a quiet, dark room. It's not that you didn't enjoy yourself. It's simply that your social battery has been completely depleted. This can make it difficult to commit to multiple social events in a row, leading to the second challenge, being perceived as flaky when you cancel plans to recharge. Another major hurdle is speaking up in groups. In a fast-paced meeting at work or a lively classroom discussion, ideas are often thrown around quickly. By the time we've carefully processed the conversation and formulated a thoughtful response, the topic has already moved on. This can be incredibly frustrating. It can lead others to think we're disengaged or don't have anything valuable to contribute, when in reality, our minds are buzzing with ideas. This struggle to interject can make it harder to get recognized for our contributions and can sometimes lead to missed opportunities for growth and collaboration. It's a constant battle between our thoughtful pace and the world's rapid-fire expectations. Small talk can also feel like an insurmountable obstacle. For many introverts, conversations about the weather or weekend plans can feel pointless and draining. We crave deep, meaningful connections, and the superficial nature of small talk often feels like a barrier to achieving that. Standing awkwardly at a networking event, trying to think of something interesting to say to a stranger, can feel like a form of torture. This aversion to chit-chat can make us appear aloof or unfriendly, even though we are genuinely interested in getting to know people on a more significant level. It's just that the pathway to that depth feels blocked by a wall of trivial pleasantries. Furthermore, we often struggle with unexpected interruptions. When we're deep in focus on a task, a state we often treasure, a sudden phone call or a coworker stopping by our desk can feel incredibly jarring. It shatters our concentration, and it can take a long time to get back into that productive flow state. This makes open office environments particularly challenging, as they are breeding grounds for constant interruptions. Our need for uninterrupted focus can be misinterpreted as us being unapproachable or not a team player, when we are simply trying to do our best work in the way that comes most naturally to us. Finally, there's the pressure to be on all the time. In a culture that values high energy and constant availability, the quiet, reserved nature of an introvert can be seen as a negative. We might feel pressured to put on an extrovert mask at work or in social settings, pretending to be more outgoing and talkative than we really are. While this can be a useful coping mechanism in short bursts, it is incredibly draining over the long term. Living this way can lead to burnout and a feeling of being inauthentic, as if we are constantly performing a role instead of simply being ourselves. This constant performance is one of the heaviest burdens an introvert can carry. Because we often need time to process our thoughts before speaking, others might misinterpret our silence as a lack of interest or intelligence. In a brainstorming session where extroverts are rapidly firing off ideas, our quiet, reflective posture can be mistaken for disengagement. A manager might think, "Why isn't she contributing? Doesn't she have any ideas?" In reality, we are likely listening intently, analyzing every angle, and formulating a well-thought-out contribution. This misunderstanding can lead to us being overlooked for leadership roles or important projects, as our quiet competence is overshadowed by louder, more visible colleagues. It's a classic case of still waters running deep, but not everyone takes the time to look beneath the surface. Our need for alone time is perhaps the most misunderstood trait of all. When we decline an invitation to a social gathering or leave a party early, it's often not personal. It's a necessary act of energy conservation. However, friends, family, or colleagues might see it as a rejection. They might think we're being rude, standoffish, or that we simply don't like them. A friend might wonder, why does he always say no to hanging out? Maybe he doesn't value our friendship. This can put a strain on relationships, as we constantly have to explain that our need for solitude is about self-care, not a reflection of our feelings for them. The reserved demeanor and preference for listening over talking can also cause people to label us as shy or insecure. While some introverts are indeed shy, the two are not the same. Shyness is rooted in a fear of social judgment, whereas introversion is about energy. We might be perfectly confident, but simply see no need to dominate a conversation or be the center of attention. This mislabeling can be frustrating because it feels like our calm nature is being viewed as a weakness. A teacher might tell a parent, "Your child is too shy. She needs to participate more," when the child is actually a thoughtful observer who learns best by listening. Similarly, our communication style, which often favors deeper one-on-one conversations over light-hearted group banter, can be misinterpreted. At a work lunch, while others are laughing and joking, we might be quietly eating or trying to engage one person in a more substantive discussion. This can make us seem overly serious or even boring to those who thrive on high-energy social dynamics. They might perceive our distaste for small talk as a sign of arrogance or unfriendliness, creating a social barrier that is difficult to overcome. This misunderstanding prevents them from discovering the rich, complex inner world and genuine warmth that we are more than willing to share in the right context. The key to navigating these challenges isn't to become an extrovert, but to honor your own needs while finding strategies that work for you. One of the most powerful tools is setting boundaries. It is perfectly okay to say, "Thank you for the invitation, but I need a quiet night in," or to leave a party when your social battery hits empty. You can also manage expectations by being proactive. For example, you could tell a friend, "I'd love to see you this week. A long party might be too much for me right now, but how about we grab coffee on Saturday morning?" This communicates your desire to connect while respecting your energy limits. To handle situations where you need to speak up, like in a meeting, a little preparation can go a long way. Before the meeting, review the agenda and jot down a few key points you want to make. This gives you a script to fall back on and helps you feel more confident about interjecting. You can even use phrases like, "I'd like to build on what Sarah said," or "going back to the previous point for a moment," to create a smoother entry into the conversation. It's about finding a technique that helps you bridge the gap between your internal thoughts and the external discussion without feeling overwhelmed. Small steps lead to big progress. When it comes to networking and small talk, shift your goal from talking to everyone to making one meaningful connection. Instead of trying to master pointless chit-chat, focus on asking open-ended questions that go beyond the superficial. Asking, "What's the most interesting project you're working on?" is far more engaging for both you and the other person than talking about the weather. This approach turns a draining experience into an opportunity for the kind of deep connection we crave. By finding one person to have a quality conversation with, you can walk away from an event feeling energized rather than depleted. It's about quality over quantity. Ultimately, the most important message is this: being an introvert is not a flaw. It is a wonderful, valid way of being in the world. Your thoughtfulness, your ability to listen deeply, and your rich inner life are superpowers. Embrace them. Stop apologizing for needing alone time, and start seeing it as a strength that allows you to show up as your best self when you do engage with others. Understanding and accepting your own nature is the foundation for a happy, balanced life. When you honor your needs, you give others the chance to understand the real you, and you create a world for yourself that feels comfortable and authentic.